Welcome to our presentation. We are Buckeye PR, and this is our final campaign proposal for Switch Social. We'll go through and introduce ourselves real quick. My name is Mac Pedraza, and I focus mainly on market research.
My name is Wyatt Longcar, and I focus mainly on strategies and tactics.
My name is Natalie Falcone, and I was the note taker, and I did non-traditional market research.
My name is Zoe King, and I did secondary research and media and visuals.
My name is Dylan Davis, and I was a reporter. I did the situational analysis and the key publics.
My name is Kenneth Adams, and I did the evaluation and the budget.
Okay, so to kick us off, we'll start with the situation analysis. Switch Social has a lot of great opportunities to capitalize on, and we will talk about those throughout our presentation. But just to touch on a few points, it's got great location, located in the heart of German Village on 4th Street, really close to Ohio State. It was started in Columbus at Fisher School of Business, so it's Ohio State born and raised, so it's really good for the market that we're trying to reach. Switch Social prides itself on fresh ingredients and locally sourced ingredients, so those are two key things that people in Columbus really look for. We want to capitalize big time on the fact that it's your hometown ice cream shop, and with college students, they're away from home, so we want to make it their home away from home kind of thing. So we go into detail a little bit more about that later in the presentation, but basically we think Switch Social has a great social media presence, and we want to continue capitalizing on that and see how much more we can reach out to them.
So the current situation that needs to be addressed is to attract more customers from surrounding college towns and capitalize more on the location of Switch Social. And our SWOT analysis is a good way of doing this. So Switch Social has many strengths. There's high quality ice cream and cookies. They have a good consumer base with a decent amount of followers on TikTok and Instagram, and as well as their nice and sleek web design and social media presence. And also, whenever you go to Switch Social, it kind of has a nostalgic vibe to it, like when you're a kid going to an ice cream shop. The opportunities that Switch has is it's right in the heart of the short north and only a 1 to 5 mile radius from OSU and other college campuses. They also have gluten-free product, which many other companies do not have. Now, a couple weaknesses they do have is their price point. Now, for college students, a price for $10 to $12 for an ice cream sandwich is a decent amount of money, and as well as the heavy health factors that go into that, with each cookie and ice cream going from 1,000 to 2,000 calories. The main threats that they have would be ice cream and cookie shops, kind of like Ben & Jerry's, Insomnia Cookies, and other secondary competitors around the area, as well as the seasonal product that they do have. I'll pass it off to Zoe.
For our secondary research, for our first secondary research objective, it was to compare an ice cream shop's typical customer base during the pandemic versus pre-pandemic. According to an article written for Dairy Foods, buying habits that emerged in 2020 have continued to stay even during the pandemic and haven't changed much throughout it. In the article that I found too, it mentioned that there was a surge in demand for ice cream during the pandemic because of the at-home comfort and indulgence of the product. Purchasing the product in store wasn't as popular throughout the pandemic. So this research can show Switch Social hope for their customer base starting to increase more, with customers wanting to get out of their house and wanting to go in person to purchase ice cream. In the first half of 2020, ice cream sales declined by 30%, while at-home ice cream consumption increased by 26% later in 2020. 76% of ice cream manufacturers tried to differentiate themselves by creating a new product to market. And based on these findings, the customer base of ice cream shops has changed and is still constantly changing, which Switch Social can utilize to their advantage by continuing to differentiate themselves from different markets by presenting a more at-home atmosphere and creating new flavors every once in a while. For our secondary research objective 2, it was to analyze ice cream financial trends. And we found research reported by Allied Market Research that the global ice cream market is expected to reach 97.3 million by 2026. And we also found that the ice cream market is divided into 3 different categories regarding consumer sales. And the highest category is take-home ice cream, which is forecasted to stay that way until 2023. This can be beneficial for Switch Social for their business when it comes to selling pints of ice cream, cookies, or Switch kits for their customers to take home. There could be increased sales or exposure by marketing more of the take-home product because it can be easily accessible for students that are always on the go, and it can create a higher revenue. There also seems to be a trend of premium ice cream, which can be popular with consumers and can be a positive sign for Switch Social because they can just continue to market their premium ice cream as long as they can.
For our goal statement, we wanted to focus around using other college students to attract more consumers in first and second year of colleges at the Ohio State University. We did this in order to create a relationship with the younger and more hip audience that's more social media influenced. So we had two key publics, and our first key public was first and second year undergrad students ages 18 to 21 who attend OSU. This public is relevant to our campaign issue or topic because we're trying to capitalize more on the location of the ice cream shop. And a lot of the time, many college students, especially first and second year, don't commute, so they're always on campus. Our second key public is undergrad students that identify themselves as foodies. This second key public is equally as important as our first. This is to represent another group of college students that are 18 to 24 who consider themselves as foodies. And the reason that we use this target audience because they have an abundance of influence on the social media market.
For objective one, with the first key public of first and second year students at OSU, we want to have an effect on the action of first and second year college students, specifically bringing more customers in and raising the number of college students visiting by 25%. Objective two, we want to increase the amount of social media awareness in first and second year college students. And we want to see an increase in TikTok and Instagram followers by about 500 to 1,000. For objective one, we want to have an effect on current undergrad student ages 18 through 24. And we want to see 5 more posts like each week on the different social media outlets. On objective two, we want to have an effect on the action current undergrad students 18, 20 through 24 that consider themselves foodies, and we want to specifically hire 4 micro influencers for the brand.
So going off of that, we did some traditional market research as well as non-traditional. For our traditional research, we focused on the second key public of OSU students that consider themselves foodies. We wanted to learn about their attitudes and behaviors towards Switch Social, as well as their posting habits and what they think about ice cream shops and all that kind of stuff. So we started out by screening the subjects and asking them, are you an OSU student who considers themselves a foodie? This just kind of broke down our subjects and gave us who exactly we wanted to see information from. We ended our survey with only about 70 participants, which was a little bit less than we originally anticipated, but it still gave us a good sample to find some important research. We found out that 68% of people, OSU students that consider themselves foodies, have never heard of Switch Social, which wasn't necessarily surprising to us. We don't think that Switch Social is currently advertising or reaching out to OSU students, so it gives us a good market to capitalize on that. But 42% of people that had heard of Switch Social heard about it via social media, which shows us that we can use social media to reach out to more people, and this is the market. These are the people that we want to reach out to. One thing that was really surprising is that only 9% of people that considered themselves foodies posted on social media about food. This was surprising because we expected more people to consider themselves foodies and post on social media. Those two things usually go together. So it was really surprising to see that, but it kind of showed us that maybe we need to stay away from the OSU students that consider themselves foodies and find more accounts that are already considering themselves foodies, but that are followed by a lot of Ohio State students.
All right, so for our non-traditional market research, we decided to do social listening on the apps Instagram and TikTok. So for each app, we analyzed 2 different hashtags. For TikTok, we analyzed hashtag Ohio State and hashtag Buckeyes. On Instagram, we analyzed hashtag Ohio State and then hashtag Go Bucks. The most viewed video under Ohio State on TikTok was a basketball player for Ohio State, and it was a viral dance with 3 of his other teammates. This had about 350,000 likes, and it had a lot of interaction with OSU students in the comments. On Instagram, a very liked photo was under the hashtag Go Bucks, and it was also a football player. and he was on the field. It had about 2,000 likes. There was also an Instagram reel posted by an LGBTQ plus influencer that had about 2,000 likes as well. These findings were very interesting because out of the 20 comments, 9 were males and 11 were females. 30% of the students were Black, 60% were white, and then 10% remains unknown from their profile. And then a majority of the top posts under both of the hashtags were student athletes. And now Zoe will be talking about strategy 1.
For our first strategy, we wanted to focus on Instagram and social media, and we wanted to engage customers to advertise Switch Social in a creative way. And we thought this would be a good way for Switch Social to try and trend on Instagram. And we recommend that for their Instagram and social media to make it more aesthetically pleasing. And we want them to incorporate their wall art so that customers can post or share on their social media. And we also want them to promote their brand and create more of a community with Switch Social and OSU students. And to promote their product and also their brand, they can use visuals and try to create a conversation with consumers, which will end up increasing their brand awareness. Customers can post and share content, and it will help with sales and target the right audience that they need. So for our tactic, we wanted to add a physical sticker between the wall art, which is the pink neon sign, and the mirror. And we thought that Switch Social can encourage customers to share a photo or post on their story while customers are waiting in line, getting their ice cream. And we wanted to create a hashtag for them that could make them popular all over Instagram or TikTok or any other social media. And we decided to go with Treat Yourself at Switch, which no other business or ice cream business has used this, so it could be beneficial for Switch Social. It can differentiate themselves from competition and can put up year-long starting in 2022. We also wanted to add a quote written out on the corner of their mirror that they have on their wall. And examples of quotes could be "Life is better with ice cream," or "Ice cream soothes the soul," or whatever Switch Social would want to add to that. They can also change up the quote every now and then just to keep it more interesting for customers.
Our second strategy was taking advantage of a Switch Social social media presence. But for our research, we decided to target self-proclaimed foodies. But based upon our research, about 73.6% of OSU students said they were foodies, but 58% of them did not post on social media. This kind of made us realize that people define foodie in many different ways. Seeing that Switch Social social media presence is very good already, we saw that 43% of people surveyed found out about Switch Social through social media. So the current market is working, but there's always room for improvement. The ways to improve would be to create more content to attract college students, use local micro influencers, and focus on specific target audiences.
In objective 1A.
Sorry about that.
Our second tactic would be hiring micro influencers. So the foodies aren't posting enough and the market is less saturated. So we need to take advantage of that. An idea would be to offer a free ice cream sandwich in exchange for an Instagram post about coming to Switch Social. Another possible plan could be to pay the influencer, but this is a backup plan.
For objective 1A, we want to increase the action of college students coming in by 25%. From January 1st to March 2022, we'll be able to compare the initial data to the future data to evaluate the effectiveness of the data, basically. Objective 1B, we want to grow the social media following by 500 to 1,000. People will be able to compare this at January initially and March 2022 to see how many followers they gained. In objective 2A, we want to see current college students use the tag on social media, and we want to see at least 5 posts per weekend. And this is fairly easily to track since we can see who uses the tag. Lastly, for objective 2B, we want to hire 4 micro influencers, and we want to have these micro influencers post and promote, and we'll compare the following at the beginning of January, and the following at the end of March 2022 to evaluate the effectiveness of the objective.
Natalie
Sorry,
wants to talk
so
about
for
the
the
budget.
For the budget, the sticker that would be placed in the store that says hashtag treat yourself at Switch would be around $50. And then for giving the Columbus Foodies page an ice cream sandwich, that would only cost about $7. And then adequate pay for 4 different micro influencers would be about $100 each, so that'd be $400. So the budget total is $457.
All tactics will begin to go in place on January 1st, 2022 and be completed by March 31st, 2022. Specifically, you want to design and order the sticker that will go in the shop by January 5th, hire 4 micro influencers by January 15th, put the sticker in the store by February 1st, and then have the influencers spread out the dates of posting, but all be done by March 31st.
So that concludes our presentation. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions or want to reach out to us via email, feel free to, and let us know what you think. Thank you.